Daddo.
What time is it?
Showtime.
What show?
Our show. The Ethan and Daddo Show. Attention, it's the Ethan and Daddo Show. Hello. It's the Ethan and Daddo Show.
Welcome to the Ethan and Daddo Show. What's new, buddy? Are you excited for school to be over?
Yeah.
So, finishing school is actually the theme of this week's episode, but we'll get to that in a second. As I think most of our listeners know, we are attempting to set a Guinness Book World Record for the world's biggest felt pennant collection. We need 1,000 pennants, so we've been reaching out to a lot of colleges and sports teams to ask them to be a part of it, and we've had a huge response, right?
Yeah.
And you can actually see a list of everyone who sent us pennants over at ethananddaddo.com. But one of the many schools to send us a really cool pennant was Arizona State University. And not only did they send us a pennant and some other cool stuff, but they suggested a guest to us to have on the show, a girl named Abigail, who just graduated from college there. And that's all fine and well. But, you know, a lot of people graduate from Arizona State every year, and we can't just have anybody on the show. Am I right?
Yeah.
But then they gave us the big headline. How old is Abigail?
14.
14 years old, and she graduated from college, and we said, yeah, we got to meet this kid. And here she is joining us right now, Abigail Zagala. Congratulations, and welcome to the podcast.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me today. This is really exciting.
So the first question, what's the hurry?
I guess there wasn't a hurry. I just really enjoyed learning. I mean, I can take you back to my younger years when I first started reading shortly before I turned 2, and I've been very curious of the world ever since then. Ever since I've learned how to read, I wanted to learn more about the world, and I mean, by 11, I was finished with all of my high school subjects, and then I was like, why don't I go to college? I love learning. This is perfect.
So, Abigail, Ethan is finishing up second grade. You're only 6 years older than Ethan. Ethan, that means to stay on pace with Abigail, you'll have to start college in 2 years. Do you think you're ready for that?
Yeah.
You are? Are you going to live at home or are you going to move out?
Live at home.
Okay, at least that's good. So you kind of touched on this just now, Abigail, but how were you able to learn so much so fast? Is it you're just really good at retaining information? You're that driven to learn? Are you a genius? Don't be modest.
Yes, so I am very driven to learn. I'm motivated and I love learning in general. But I actually took my first college course when I was 8 years old. I took it through Arizona State's Universal Learners Program. Anyone can try a college course. It's $25 just to try it. And the amazing thing about this program is that if you enjoy learning and you like the class, you can actually pay an additional $400 and get a real college transcript from ASU.
Let's think about that. Let's start by getting you to do your homework tonight first, and then we'll see about that. Ethan, you have a question.
What's your favorite subject in school?
Ooh, that's a hard question. I love all of the subjects, and all of my teachers at ASU have been really amazing. But, you know, if you're really making me pick a favorite, I actually loved my class with Dr. Laura Smollers. I actually got to work hands-on at her psych and law lab, working to prevent wrongful convictions. And that was one of my highlights going to ASU.
So you were homeschooled. Which grades did you actually skip, or does it not work exactly like that? Did you just finish everything and take a test or something? How does it work?
Yes, so I would only spend like 20 minutes a day studying. I would just pick up the information, retain it, and I would take these tests out of the books that my parents were buying me, and I would get all of the answers right. And I wouldn't say that I really skipped over any grades. It was just that I learned everything super fast.
And did you have to do a normal college application and college application essay? And if so, what was your essay about?
So I went to community college first, and I know different colleges have different rules, and I had to take a placement test to get into Glendale Community College, and that just involved sort of reading and math, kind of basic college level subjects, and that's all that I had to do.
Ethan has some more questions about your college experience at Arizona State.
How did people treat you there?
Well, ASU was like a family, and I loved everyone there. It felt like I really belonged. A lot of people actually didn't know my age, and I didn't disclose it to anyone. And in fact, I was having a conversation with another classmate of mine, and we were talking about our pets. I have a Yorkshire Terrier. He's 10 years old. And I mentioned that to her, and she goes, "Oh, so you must have gotten him back when you were in high school." And I just kind of nodded. I go, "Yeah, high school sounds about right."
Was it nerve-wracking to work with older kids?
Not really. I kind of always have been surrounded by older peers my entire life. Of course, I have friends that are my age, but part of learning when I was young, my parents would sign me up for these educational classes, which I was really excited about, and I loved it because I was actually in a classroom setting, learning with other students, but I was normally the youngest kid in those classes. And so I've just been surrounded by older peers most of my life, so it kind of somewhat felt normal to me.
Are most of your friends your age or older?
So I have a mix of both. I have friends that I've made around the neighborhood, friends that are my age, and we've connected through shared interests like video games and cartoons. And I have friends that I've made through ASU and working as a research assistant and volunteering, and we also bonded through shared interests. And the funny thing is, my friends at ASU also like watching cartoons and playing video games. I think that's something that a lot of people don't lose, and you're kind of a kid at heart still.
Now, did you live at home this whole time at college?
Yes, so I've been at home living with my parents, and I feel really fortunate that they've just been so supportive of me, and I feel lucky to have had this opportunity.
Now, would you be invited to college parties? Did you get to go to any college football games?
So while I didn't go to any college football games on campus during my time at ASU, my dad is a huge fan of the Sun Devils. We love watching all of the games together at home, and we're always cheering on for our quarterback Cam Scadaboo. He actually went to the New York Giants recently, and we're like, "Oh no, we liked watching him score those touchdowns."
You said you kind of fit in. People didn't know your age, but did people know around campus that there's a kid so young taking classes, or is it just such a big school that you kind of went under the radar?
So I actually went to ASU's West Campus, which actually is what made it possible for me to attend. And I'd say that campus is peaceful. It's quiet. You're able to make connections with a lot of people, but it's definitely not as busy as the main campus in Tempe. And no, nobody knew about my age. Nobody really knew that I was going there until, of course, now when I've graduated. But that's because I never disclosed it. I never went to the media. I wanted to be treated the same as everyone else.
Did you have a bedtime when you were in college?
Did I have a what?
A bedtime?
Oh, a bedtime. Well, that's the great thing about going to college. You're kind of like a grown up, so there's no bedtimes if you're studying. And I kind of got to make my own schedule. But I did kind of have a bedtime that I made for myself so that way I could wake up early and focus on all of my classes. I was just motivated and dedicated, but sometimes I did stay up early for movie nights.
So now that you've graduated, can your parents tell you what to do, or do you just say, "Hey, I'm out of college, leave me alone"?
No, I still listen to my parents. I take their advice. Obviously, they're still older than me and they've had lots of life experiences, and I really value their advice and their input. But I am graduated now, so it feels like I have a little bit more freedom, and I feel like I've proven to them that I can be responsible. And yeah, I'm just really excited actually to continue my journey and go to law school actually in the fall.
We're going to get to that. I know everyone asks you this. I know you don't have regrets, but do you feel like you missed out on anything by not waiting a little bit longer?
Oh, no, absolutely not. I've enjoyed my childhood. I don't feel like I've missed out on anything. I get to do lots of fun activities. I mean, we go to the arcade. My dad, he's a master at the claw machines. He can win any stuffed animals.
I
I
know someone
mean,
here who likes claw machines.
Oh, really? You like trying your hand? You win a bunch of stuffed animals?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it.
Sometimes. You like going to the movies too. My favorite thing is blue ices and a huge bucket of popcorn.
Ooh, we can get behind that, right, buddy?
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing you learned from college? Not from a class, not from your major, but just from being in that environment.
Well, I kind of already knew this from my grandparents and from my parents, but hard work, motivation, and dedication, you can do anything if you have that. And if you put your mind to it and pursue your dreams, you can reach them.
That sounds like good advice, right?
Yeah.
You're not even close to being finished. As you just mentioned, you're going to law school. I know you're accepted into a whole bunch of schools. Have you decided which one you're going to?
I haven't decided yet. I'm still waiting to get some scholarship info back from some colleges that I've applied to. But I am really excited because I have received a full scholarship plus stipend from one of my top law school choices.
Ooh, are we keeping that quiet for now?
Yes, just for now until I make a decision.
All right, but you'll keep us posted.
Definitely.
What do you want to do with your life?
Well, I want to be a lawyer and I want to use my knowledge of the law and my prior research experience and skills to be able to research innovative solutions to problems in our society. And I want to be able to start my own nonprofit organization to provide free services for those who can't afford them. That would be my main goal.
What do you think?
That's good.
Last question. Have you ever heard of a show called Doogie Howser, MD?
I've heard of it. I think my dad has brought it up a couple times, but I'm not quite sure what it's about.
It's about a kid doctor who graduated college crazy early. And
Wow.
I forget exactly how old he is when he starts being a doctor. I think he's like 12 or 13 and he's treating patients. You should watch
That's
it.
crazy.
I think you will relate to it.
Okay, thank you for the recommendation. I will have to check it out.
Thank you for hanging out with us. Congratulations. We're so excited to see what you do next. Please stay in touch and let us know, right?
Yeah.
And
of course.
hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Abigail Zagala, college grad, 14 years old. Thank you so much. Good luck to you. Thank you to Arizona State. Go Sun Devils. If you don't already, follow us on Instagram at Ethan and Daddo. Same goes for YouTube. More info, merch, and more at ethananddaddo.com. Anything else, buddy? I think we covered it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next time.